Welcome back, folks, to a rather soggy Feldberg here down in the Schwarzwald. It's not much of a day for skiing, and the spectators all looking a bit damp under their umbrellas down in the finish area. A decent crowd, though, I have to say, have turned out to see this second para-alpine slalom of the new year. The fourth competition in the slalom division so far this 24-25 season. And as our pictures and our weather graphics show, we've got rain, warm temperatures, and the mist has sort of come a little bit further down the hill. So all in all, not really ideal conditions for the racers. The snow is soft as well. In this morning's first run, we saw some quite bad ruts developing as we went through the field, and a few DNFs didn't finish as a result. So tough day for everybody out there. It's never much fun when the weather goes like this, but the race will be going ahead. The visibility is reduced a little, but it's not quite as bad on the actual slope as our long shot camera shows, so we're looking through a lot more mist. We'll be getting underway as usual with the visually impaired women, and be followed by the standing girls and then the sit ski women. Same order for the categories for the men, and in each of the categories following the first run, I don't think we're seeing any major upsets just so far. All the favourites just exactly where they should be, and men's visually impaired start list there. Bertagnoli leading the way for Italy. It's very tight there. You saw only 300s. A little bit more space between the top men in the standing division. Arthur Bauchet, again, no surprise to see him out in the lead there. His great rival Robin Kusch trying to hunt him down, but has work to do. And a very tightly contested competition in the sitting division for the men as well. Jeroen Krampscher for the Netherlands, only 900ths ahead of his big rival, René de Silvestro, who's coming on stronger and stronger as the season goes through, and Jesper Pedersen of Norway pretty close in behind them in third place as well. So that'll be the grand finale at the end of the competition day. That's our technical delegate there, just keeping an eye on things. Their second on course set by one of the Italian coaches, and the weather has meant that we've had to spend some extra time clearing the soft snow off the top of the course, and that means we're going to start about 15 minutes later than we had scheduled. So just a couple of minutes from now, just on the hour, 1 o'clock local time. Australia will be getting us underway. There they are, Georgia Gunway and Ethan Jackson, her guide. They're looking very relaxed there. At least they've got some cover up at the start in their little tent. Fairly short course again, a real sprint race. That's expecting it to be something certainly under 40 seconds long, so about 10-15 seconds shorter than we would ideally have liked. But again, not great snow cover here, but good enough for a fair competition. That's the main thing. A good job done by our local course crew here in Feldberg. So the Australians get themselves ready. The start wand is closed over. We're going in reverse order from the first run results, remember. So Georgia, 8th place after the first run. She tucks in behind Ethan, her guide. Solid skiing here, and looking at the surface, the course crew have done a great job in between. You can see all the big piles of soft snow that are off to the side. That's what caused the delay. They had to virtual army of course slippers to come and push all that snow out of the road. A tricky series of combinations, a series of rhythm changes across that little flat section. Similar set to what we had earlier, multiple combinations, challenging the athlete's ability to change rhythm, maintain balance. There's the final combination, a hairpin. Georgia safely over the line, total time 1:29.94. Solid run. She can be pleased with that one. It's the job done. Sarah Choi, the Korean skier, lone Korean skier here today, will be up next. Sung Hyun, our guide. Out of the gate. Nicely down through this rhythmical section of gates that our Italian coach has set. And a good job here. Here's this tricky combination of gates. Long double gate turn on the left foot and then straight away into the verticale, which is set at a bit of an angle. So slightly unusual, but all very much within the rules. Another hairpin there. And Sarah doing a great job here, staying tight with her guide. Final hairpin, no real problems. Heading straight for the line, over she goes. Takes the lead from Australia. Georgia Gunyu, demoted to second. And Korea lead the way here in the early stages of the second run in Feldberg. Day 2 of the 3-day competition period. Our final races before the upcoming World Championships, which are due to be held in Maribor just after the start of next month. Poland on course, Olivia Golas. Staying close behind her guide. Seems to be growing in confidence every time she comes out on the snow. Getting good competition experience. Going quick as well, builds her advantage. 6.3, it's not a lot of time, so keep the work rate up on the lower gates. Keep the rhythm, the flow between the skiers and from gate to gate is very important for the VI skiers. Really good job there over the line. And yeah, made some time, made an extra couple of tenths on the lower section. So she's clear into the lead. Poland lead the way from Korea and Australia. Alexandra Rixova now next up. Taking some chances here. She's not so far behind the competitors ahead of her, so looking to try to put pressure on, I would say here, taking more chances I think than the pair of them did in the first run. Set very wide coming over that final crest, but they manage it pretty solidly. Right on the gates, cutting a really direct line. It's to stay forward here as the terrain gets steeper again towards the line. But Rexova, no big problems on course there. That was a really strong run from our Slovakian pair. Clear into the lead, 57.97 her total time. See here in the slow-mo just how focused and concentrated the skiers have to be to stay tight with their guide, take what best cues they can from their guide as they find their way down this rather soggy and rainy race piste here in Feldberg today. Chiara Matzel lines herself up. Her guide Fabrizio Casals just taking his final preparations out there ahead of her with the pink bib on. Gets himself lined up. And a pair of them are off. It's a little left behind, I would say, at the beginning there. So Fabrizio doing a good job there. Quick check over his right shoulder just to make sure the distance is matched up well, and a real nice tight connection between them now. But Chiara, oh, is she out? Yeah, she's out the course. Just got caught on the inside ski, on the left ski, as the terrain began to flatten, but importantly, as the rhythm changed in the course, just coming into the vertical gates, the ones that are set in pairs there, straight down the hill, the distance reducing, the distance between the turns just above there is, I'm estimating, something like 10.5 meters, and the distance between the vertical gates is only 6 meters, so it forces a very drastic change in rhythm. So Austria straight away back into the action here. Elena Stadi, red bib on her back, indicates she is the tour leader. Won the opening 2 slaloms of the year in team. They're a very strong summer program, a really strong training program they had for the Austrians this year. And Stadi keeps that good form up. She's not going to be giving the bib up without a fight. 3.30 had advantage now over Golas of Poland, who's provisionally looking like, Rexova we're comparing times with here. Through that final hairpin, she goes for the line. Yeah, it's going to be a green light for sure. And a big margin carved out there. 5.14 seconds. A really good job done by the Austrians there. Straight away, though, they're going to flip the next couple of starters around. It looks like Barbara Eigner is not going to start, but her sister Veronica, who leads after the first run, will be the next skier to come. To keep a close eye. Yeah, that's Veronica Eigner and her sister Elizabeth guiding her. Big push. Remember, they do have an advantage from the first run. It's pretty slim there. Get another checkpoint just coming off the pitch, but the Eigner girls are very close together, real tight connection between guide and skier. Clock stops and that gap has grown. 1.10 seconds now she has over her younger compatriot. And yeah, determined to try to hunt her down and take the 100 World Cup points for the victory. Well, she's just within reach of the line now. Here she goes, straight over and clear into the lead. 1.04 seconds. A new leader and ultimately the winner of this morning's visually impaired women's slalom. Look back at their slow-mo pictures. Definitely pushing it to the limit. Not getting super clean turns on some of those curves, but nonetheless, it's enough for the victory. There it's confirmed. Eigner from Stadi, Austria, making it 1 and 2 yet again. And third place going to Alexandra Rexova of Slovakia. Fourth, fifth, and sixth are Golas, Choi, and Gunyu. Marcel was out, and the Italian star was out in the first run, and we don't have any news as to why Barbara Eigner didn't start the second run. But if we get something on that through the broadcast, we'll bring you up to date. But we're all certainly wishing her well. The technicians take an opportunity, a short break, an opportunity for them to bring some equipment down from the top, and a couple of extra course workers out there as well, side slipping while we line the ladies up for the podium. Just a note, it's all girls on the podium today, but often this can be guys guiding girls and girls guiding guys. So there's no gender rules in that kind of respect for the girls. But as I say, it's all-female podium today, and they get a chance to get a bit of shelter from the rain down there. Having said that, the clouds have lifted a little bit, so the weather is playing
Veronica
a little
and
bit.
Elizabeth, that's
Veronica
another win in very difficult conditions this afternoon. What is the most challenging for you? The snow, the visibility, the slope?
The snow was not easy, it was very soft, and the slope is difficult, but yeah, it's the game, and the weather is very raining, but it's okay, we made it and we are so happy.
And how do you guide Veronika in those conditions? Is that something different you do, or?
Yeah, the race it's easier for Froni as for me. I have a little bit problems in the first run, but yeah, the clothes are very wet, and we hope tomorrow it's the weather a little bit better.
Same question auf Deutsch.
Ja, die Piste ist sehr weich, also nicht einfach. Die Piste natürlich halt auch nicht, der Schnee. Ja, wie gesagt, ist sehr, sehr weich. Und ja, der Lauf hat so im zweiten Durchgang gut passt. Der erste war ein bisschen schwieriger, aber wir haben es geschafft und wir sind sehr froh drüber.
Schwierige, also die größte Schwierigkeit für dich heute?
Größte Schwierigkeit? Als Guide, also dass ich generell weiter vorn bin. Ich sitze relativ gern hinten und dann tue ich mir schwer, dass ich den Schwung schön rund fahre. Die Froni hat sich heute sicher leichter getan als wie ich. Und ja, mit den nassen Verhältnissen, wir hoffen, dass morgen ein besseres Wetter ist.
Gratulation, danke.
Well, the chat's all about the weather, but interesting there. Elisabeth Eigner, the guide, she's saying it's really, really important to stay forward, despite the snow being soft and the course being a little easier than certainly what we had yesterday, by my judgment. And as Elisabeth said there, it's an easier set of gates compared with the first run, but it's so important to always keep moving forward and keep the weight forward on the skis. So a little bit of technical insight from our Austrian winners there. Austrian 1 and 2. So we're into the women's stand-up category. And first up, Martin Granizzo of Spain. She pushes out, and we have this second competition underway. It really is soft. Of course, will cut up. I think even worse than we saw earlier. But our Spanish skier doing a great job here of keeping the rhythm, giving herself feet space around the gates, and making sure that she tries to keep pushing the body forward. There she goes, diving for the line. 1:25.09 her total time. 5 girls in the standing category today. And, next up, Ami Hondo. Move on her 5th position from yesterday, and more aggressive skiing here, spending more time on the fall line than she did earlier on, and actually compared with yesterday as well. So clearly looking to make a better impression on her standings. Dynamic work here on the lower section, doing a good job of staying on top of the skis in the transition from foot to foot. Points them straight for the line here. Dives for the line, 1.60. Yeah, very, very strong run. Builds on her advantage from the first run. And Japan lead the way now from Spain in this second run of her slalom. Really not the best weather at all. That white rain coming down. Half rain, half snow. So Claire Petit next for the Netherlands. Very straight on those top turns. And the course swings a little more here, so yeah, you can see more movement with the leg and a more aggressive, hunched forward approach with the upper body, trying to maintain contact with the snow between the turns. Builds her advantage up to 2.65. Really solid skiing. Oh, a little mistake there by Claire, but she should be okay. Over the line she goes, and once again the leaderboard changes. Netherlands, from Japan, from Spain, and 2 skiers remaining now at the top of the hill in the second part of the women's competition, the standing category. It's the one little mistake. She just got the ski hooked up in one of the little ruts. But Claire Petit there. All smiles there in the finish area. Maria Rieder up at the top, skiing for the host nation. Each to get her momentum up into these first turns. Tricky entry, couple of gates right at the very top of the course. It's a slightly unusual set. The hairpin is a straight in, straight out, so less of a turn demanded than the one she's just passed down at the bottom of the first pitch. But both sets of combinations taken very, very well by Rieder. Just get pushed back, caught again on the tails of the skis, makes a good recovery though. On her stronger side, she to recover onto the left foot. At least she's going to make it safe from here. Goes for the line. 6.40 the gap now between our new leader, who's also the tour leader, Maria Rieder. Just as our slow-mo ended this, where I was explaining there's a tricky series of turns there. We'll have a look at our next and final standing woman, Eba Arjo. And we'll just get a quick look back at Anna Maria Rieder pulling off that recovery right at the very, very bottom of the course. Quick reactions and a lot of strength involved in managing to get herself back over her feet. Here's our Swedish leader from the first run. Winner of yesterday's race as well. Cleaned it up, both runs belonging to Arjo. And once again, I think we're going to see a big green light coming on here as she crosses the split time marker, 3.48, growing the advantage with more or less every turn. Gained over a second over Rieder in the top section of the course. And not content to sit on that buffer, really pushing things to the limit here. Going for the line, and yep, once again, makes it 2 in a row. Eva Arjo of Sweden is our winner here today in the women's standing division. Very, very solid ski. Quick look at the slow-mo for her. And yeah, nothing really technically that I could fault. She does a good job of compensating for her weaker side, using the strong leg there to help line up. And then when she goes in on this side, she doesn't have the musculature in her lower leg to help her make the turn. But Hill favouring her a little because of that left foot bias on this slightly side hilly piste. But all in all, a really good run there on the Hornbühel. 140 vertical meters of drop here, so we're maybe it's long enough to count as a fully recognized World Cup competition, but ideally we'd be looking more like 160, 180 vertical meters of our vertical drop. Let's have a quick word in a moment, I think, from our leader. But there's the official confirmation. Arjo from Rieder, from Claire Petit. And another quick look at our winners replay. It's a little bit late on this turn, but again, it's that strong leg down, compensates well there, carves her way out of trouble. Nice little pole plant to reset the balance and repeat from start to finish.
Eba, that's another win, and again, very difficult conditions today. What was the most difficult for you? The snow, the visibility, the steepness of the slope?
Well, yeah, it was really rough, really shit weather today, and I think it's rough for everyone, but for me the steep is of course the hardest part. Ja, det är inget kul idag, det är riktigt tufft och det där var grisigt åt, men det var, ja, jag klarar det.
And how important is it for you to secure those very good results just before the World Championships?
Yeah, of course it's good. You have that in the back to go to Maribor, and I hope it's better weather there. But yeah. Jo, men det är klart att det är kul att man har de här resultaten och så, men jag hoppas att det är lite bättre förhållande när vi kommer dit än så här.
Congratulations, thank you.
It like it is. Sorry if that was offensive to anybody's ears there, but the weather playing its part here. It's not getting better anytime soon by the looks of things, so everybody's going to be used it by the end of the day, I suppose. As our Victor Eba Arjo mentioned, we're off to the World Championships shortly. They start on the 4th of February in Maribor over in Slovenia. It's another low altitude area, so hopefully, as Eba says, hopefully the weather over that side of the Julier Alps is a little bit drier and a bit colder than it is here on the Schwarzwald today. Mej Bidot for the French team, just waiting patiently there up at the top. Women's sitting category about to get underway. Workers are out in force, slipping the soft snow away from the sides and putting those shovels and rakes to good use. Just a moment or two to switch the wand over. There it goes. That's it closed now. You see the two sets of switches, the two black boxes, higher ones for the sit skiers, and the sit skiers are underway with Mej Bidot for the French team pushing out, but into trouble. The soft snow and steepness here really not favouring the sit skiers at all. He's used to training on ice or very, very densely hard-packed snow, so these softer conditions aren't really to everybody's liking. And obviously, as we go through work our way through the field, the snow tends to get chopped up and ruts form, so the later runners don't have a very nice time of it. So Bidot, though, battling on here, making certain of these lower turns. Quite a difficult rhythm change that's just gone out of shot there just as you come over the final crest. Heading now for the finish line. One more hairpin to take in, then she can let it run straight. 1:32.77 her total time. Looking to try to move up a level from yesterday's third position. So with 3 skiers remaining, she's going to have to watch very closely to see what the final outcome will be. But a pretty solid run. I think she can be pleased with her work there. See Kiviranta, her only Finnish competitor, is next on course. It's a relatively small advantage over Bidot at the start, 1.25 seconds. And certainly by my judgment, I think she's cutting a slightly more direct line than Bidot did. Like this long shot where you can see how far across the hill the athletes are having to travel from turn to turn. A big check there as she makes that line adjustment. This is the section where the rhythm in the course changes quite drastically as they come over that last roller, but she's through that bit safely. Going pretty wide on these turns. This is going to run it pretty close, I think. 4.84 it is in the end. Kiviranta has enough from the top section of the course to make up for those wider turns at the bottom, and she now leads the way for Finland, France, and Mej Bidot demoted to second. Look how much snow comes out when they have to make the big check. Digging big holes. Quite right. You can afford a nice big smile there, Netta, looking at those slow-mo pictures. Pretty handy work there on the sit ski. So back with Spain, Audrey Pascual Seco. Some dynamic from turn to turn. LW12-2, similar classification to Mej Bidot, who's a 12-1, but the 12-2 indicates she has a slightly more generous factor, her impairment slightly heavier than Bidot, so we don't have to worry about any of that. The clock does the adjustment in the background, and what you see is the factor time ticking away there on the bottom right of your screen. Over the line she goes, 8.81, clear into the lead. She had a pretty hefty buffer from the first run, and similarly next racer up, Annalena Forster, she's got quite a buffer as well. So right now Pascual Seco leads the way with this run that we're looking in the slow-mo replay. Second place Kiviranta and Bidot for France in third. She is our new leader, number 16. Here she is, Annalena Forster. Coaches and ski technicians standing by. Just their last words of encouragement. Let's go, say the coaches, and Forster delivers the goods here into this funny little straight in, straight out hairpin. No problems on there for the German start. A little check as she just was running a little bit too direct, but she makes the adjustment, and another one just in the nick of time for the hairpin. She's lost a bit of momentum there, but remember she had a good buffer at the top. What's the split time give her? Yeah, she lost a little over half a second, but still with 3 seconds the good as a pretty safe margin, I would say. Certainly can't afford any big mistakes, so got to keep the work rate up, keep that ski switching from edge to edge. Here she goes, safely home surely from here. And once again, Annalena Forster makes it 2 in a row. The local skiers delighting their local fans. Men's standing skiers watching on in the monitor up in the top. So that concludes the women's competition. She's delighted with that, quite rightly so. So the final run is the fastest run from Annalena Forster. So a really solid tactical job done. A couple of mistakes on the way, but she made the recoveries really well. We're just about to see one just here. The ski, I think, picks up. Let's go, picks it up again. She's quite late for this blue, but she takes extra space, drifts it out to the side, presses down on that left edge, regains the line as a result, and skis her way into top place. Excellent job by Annalena Forster. Takes the win for Germany. Well, there you go. Only 4 girls in the sitting division in this competition. Americans choosing not to travel, so we're missing America and Canada. They've taken a break of sorts before the World Championships, which, as I just mentioned, starts on the 4th of February. So the field a little smaller than usual, but once again, it's all smiles on the podium, and the biggest smile of all is from Annalena Forster. Great to see her looking so happy. Well-deserved victory. Great skills on display here by Annalena Forster. Needed to make a couple of recovery turns, a little check, adjustments to the line to get on her stride. Let's hear what she's got to say about it.
Another win in very challenging conditions today. What is the most difficult for you? The visibility, the snow, the steepness of the slope?
Well, I think all together it is a mix of everything, and you have to focus and to concentrate and to make not so many mistakes. Yes, that's it.
And also you have a very interesting season with competitors pushing you in your category, with Audrey pushing hard, right? Are you more nervous with that, or how is it for you?
Yes, I think I'm more nervous then. So no, that's very, very cool. That's also very motivating, and it makes a lot of fun to compete, and that's good.
Was war die größte Schwierigkeit für dich heute?
Ja, die größte Schwierigkeit ist alles zusammen. Der Lauf selber, dann natürlich die Bedingungen, die Sicht, alles ein bisschen schwierig heute. Aber es ist ja für jeden gleich, von dem her passt es schon.
Und mit vielen Konkurrenten, bist du auch ein bisschen nervöser oder wie ist das für dich?
Ja, auf jeden Fall. Also das macht es natürlich auch nochmal spannender und aufregender, aber motiviert halt auch total und macht super viel Spaß, wenn die Rennen einfach wieder ein bisschen enger sind. Ja.
Danke. Gratulation.
Danke.
Yeah, big congratulations there to Annalena Forster. Great words from her. Loving the competition. It's pretty tight there amongst the top girls, and great to see her all smiles in the winners' enclosure once again. 2 in a row for her. And similarly, Arjoeba, the standing category, going to her, same as yesterday, and Veronica Eigner also making it 2 in a row. Now, we're into the next part of the competition, the men's race. And as ever, we'll be starting off with the men's visually impaired skiers. First up, Miroslav Haros for Slovakia. Solid work between the pair of the lads here. Oh, Miro's down again. Loses a ski and manages to capture it just. See what went wrong. He got caught quite low on the tails of his left ski just before the hairpin itself, and then too much weight coming crashing down onto that left ski as he tried to make the top turn. Caused him to just ultimately crash out, but the mistake really came the turn before the hairpin. So whilst he gets himself tidied up, we'll just take a short break. I'm going to be right back in about 5 seconds. Okay, Jeremiah Vilke lines up in front of Alexander Rowan, and the Germans are on course now. So we've just seen Haros of Slovakia go out of the course with that quickly rhythm change on the bottom of the pitch. See how the German team tackle this. Here it comes. No real problem there for them. They were right on line, the pair of them skiing exactly the same rhythm, same tempo, maybe just stretching apart ever so slightly. And Alex now doesn't quite look like he's got the strong connection, but Wilke is slowing down ever so slightly as he came towards the cameras there. So they've tightened up again. That's really good skiing, but Alex straddles the second last gate, just trying to cut the line a little bit too tight. Oh, and he's mad at himself for making that mistake. Frustration showing there in the finish. That really was a pretty solid run. Couple of little adjustments between, distance adjustments, excuse me. Very good guiding, but ultimately that straddle just within a few meters, like 10, 12 meters from the finish line, means he'll be disqualified. So that's a pity for him. You can see he's very upset about that. But so nobody down clean so far. So it's a wide open race for the remaining 4 men. So Haraus is out. Rowan is out, although he's safely in the finish, and we have on course Mingyu Huang. And they're looking to make some pace coming off the steep, I would say, by the looks of things. Tighten up the distance just a little. That's good work from the two of them. Complicated rhythm change through here. Ooh, cutting the line really, really tight this one. Here comes the final hairpin. There it goes. Safely through that and over the line. Right, we have somebody cleanly at the bottom of the hill after the first couple of guys didn't make it. And Mingyu Huang is our new pace setter or leader for the moment. 3 more pairs up the top. Next up will be the Polish pair, Kasper Wallace guide and Mikhail Golas. Very clean and tidy, very close together as they come out of the start gate. Maintaining that distance all the way down the pitch. Visibility improving somewhat. Now, I know a lot of people ask the question, does it matter to the visually impaired skiers? I can assure you that it really does, because if you only have maybe he's out the course, kind of loses his way. Distance-wise, I think maybe the guide got away a little bit too far. I was just about to explain there, if you only have 2 or 3% of regular vision or reduced visual acuity, if you lose another 10% of what you've got left because of the fog, it really does hinder your chances. But I think what happened there really was more of a guiding error than anything else, and that really has left it, well, I won't say wide open, but it's handed a guaranteed podium to Mingyu Huang, because we only have 2 racers left. We've got Johannes Aigner and Nico Haber on course now for Austria, and Giacomo Bertagnoli will be coming next. Bertagnoli fastest from the first run. The Austrians obviously trying to put some pressure on them. Remember, there's hardly anything in it between these guys in terms of the gap, so they need to keep the hammer down, try to put pressure on the Italians. The last little check before he straightens it up for the line. Aigner pushing on behind him. Johannes diving forward now, reaching for the line. Over he goes. Ooh, big advantage opened up there. 7.17. Don't look pleased with it. I don't think they should be too worried about that. 1 or 2 little mistakes, and Haberle there, Nico, the guide, getting a little bit caught on the tails of the skis. Maybe that's what he's shaking his head and looking frustrated about in the finish area. But all in all, that was a pretty solid performance by the Austrian lads, I would say.
Man vision impaired, Giacomo Bertagnoli kann sich
So,
jetzt ganz nach vorne fahren, oder
final competitor in the men's VI division. Ready to launch here. Off they go. Riley maybe just a little bit quicker than he needed to be out of the starting blocks. He doesn't go through the timing wand. It's only Giacomo, it's only the visually impaired skier himself or herself that go through the timing wand. But now they've got that connection back together, I would say, and skiing well through this middle part. But look, there's the distance opening up again, like we saw with the Polish lads. Just got to keep a bit of a lid on that. Down to the final section of the course now, though, and they should be safe from here. It's going to be very, very close. Green light comes on, though. Bertagnoli takes the victory for Italy. That's excellently well-measured run. They knew the Austrian boys had tried to put pressure on them. Remember, there was only 300s between them at the beginning of the second run there. So Bertagnoli soaks up that pressure and delivers the goods. Total time for he and Andrea Ravelli of 1:07.65, good enough to seal the win. Johannes Aigner has to settle for second spot, but a very creditable performance from Mingyu Huang, seeing him on the podium for the first time this season in 3rd place. Yeah, the Italian lads right on the limit, I would say. So great competition, great stuff to watch. Very almost, well, too close to call for me. We'll get a couple of words from them, I'm sure, as they go to their award ceremony. Remember, this is they'll get 3 days of competition here, so we're kind of halfway through, let's say, almost halfway through. Big smiles from our Italian leaders, and the confirmation there. Bertagnoli from Aigner from Huang. Smiles all round from the lads there.
So, hier haben wir nochmal ein schönes Gruppenbild.
So I'm gonna do you first, same as yesterday.
A quick look at Giacomo's winning run again. Here he goes. Bertagnoli standing well on the skis. Good press, good forward angle on the shins, keeping control of the outside ski primarily, and well in balance there as he makes the switch from foot to foot.
Okay,
Let's hear
Giacomo
what he's
and
got
Andrea,
to say.
again a big fight today, but today you win. What did you do better today?
I don't know, probably I was just a little bit more focused on the slope. Today the rain didn't help anybody, I think, but we managed it very, very good. So what I can say, we win, yeah.
And for you, what is
Maybe the weather is better today over yesterday. No, I joke. But today we are first, we are the best, and I'm so happy.
You can repeat in Italian?
Sì, oggi è stata sicuramente una bellissima gara, la pioggia non ha aiutato nessuno, credo, tanto meno noi, però ecco, sono contento perché alla fine gli errori ci sono stati un po' da parte di tutti, secondo me, però come ho detto anche ieri, l'importante è portare a casa le manche, portare a casa le gare, e oggi siamo riusciti a stare davanti a tutti, quindi un bellissimo primo posto.
No, io scherzando ho detto che il tempo forse è stato meglio oggi, ma ovviamente è una bruttissima giornata e siamo stati bravi e più bravi degli altri, quindi ci meritiamo la vittoria. Grazie.
Bravissimo.
Oh, there you go. You heard from the boys. They're very pleased to overturn the result from compared with yesterday. They moved it up a level and take the victory home to Italy. They get another chance to duke it out in the Aigner-Bertagnoli battle. The story of that is a long way from being over. It'll be interesting to see how they go in the forthcoming World Championships. So into the men's standing division in a moment or two. Quick look around the crowd. And no change in the weather. I don't think that rain's going to go off completely all day, but let's hope it cools down a bit tonight. Better to have some colder temperatures for the race condition.
Allez, fais ton ski. Allez, fais-toi plaisir. Allez, pas de revers, rien, hein. Allez, Lolo. Allez, ça va partir.
France are going to get us underway here.
Allez, Lolo, hein. Allez.
Johan Jean Demange on course. Much more solid on the ski than, I would say, than his what we saw from him in the first run. A nice straight line through here. Yeah, he seems a lot more relaxed, a lot more confident and solid on the ski than he did in the first run. Great work. Double amputee, remember. Burns victim as well. Only his vision in one eye, so good to see him safe across the line and posting a solid time there. He'd left himself a lot of work, I think it's fair to say, to do from the first run, but right now Johan Jean Demange, total time has him top of the leaderboard for the moment, and we're back on track here with Matthias out of Norway via Hansen Matthias. When he's down, I was just about to say he's got a bit of work to do to catch Jean Damage, but that's the material now. The first does not finish for the men standing. Young Norwegian down on his side there, and one of the less challenging parts of the course, but ultimately just too much weight on that inside ski. The right foot picking him up there, and loses contact with the left foot as a result, and slides by the gate, and his race is over. Roger Puy-Davy next up, our Andorran skier. Ooh, very close to being a straddle there, but I think he made it safely. Seven hundredths, the right side of the clock, as we like to say. Green light stays on for our Andorran skier. Pushing now for the line, keeps it solid through the final hairpin, and safely over he goes. Made up a good chunk of time there in the lower section as well. 0.53 the lead now, and Andorra are at the top of the leaderboard. Davide Mendotti next, our Italian LW2 classification skier. Push straight away into that little toe turn. It's the trickier side for the LW2s to get started on. And as I've been saying earlier, this hill, it's a little bit left foot bias, more of the work done on the left foot. So if you're skiing only on your right leg, then it's not the easiest of hills by any means. 117 though, the gap grows. Bendotti, again, another skier who seems to put the bit between his teeth for the second run. More dynamic, more explosive energy on the ski there than in his first run. And he now goes into the lead. I think that was an easy one to predict. The gap there between he and Roger Puy-Davy is 0.97 between first and seventh. Christoph Glutzner now. Another LW2. Nice job through these, getting through these ruts that are now beginning to form. No matter what the course workers do, it's impossible to keep the course completely flat. Glutzner gets the power down, strong on that left leg. Coming onto the final pitch now, goes for the line, really attacking, and another change in the leaderboard. Christoph Glutzner grows his advantage, and Germany now leads on home snow. Bertie down to second. That's four of the guys down. Five out the start. Only four made it to the bottom. And so far, courses, the skiers are holding up better than I was expecting. The course is definitely getting more difficult, but the skillful skiing and the incredible commitment out there from these athletes. Jordan Broisa, our next skier on course. In the rhythm, solid, off the steep, across that little, slightly less steep, it's not exactly a flat. And now coming into the final pitch, Broza in sight of the line, straightens the skis up, ducks for the line. And another change. Yeah, 1.89, clear lead carved out there by Jordan Broza. French team here. Oscar Burnham on course. Sorry, my data feed is refreshing more often than it ought to. But you can see there with the graphic, his lead has disappeared. So a measure of the strength of Brozan's run. France go 1 and 2 though, but Brozan has overhauled his teammate, holds on to the lead. Oscar Burnham there going into second. Tommy Grocher now for the Austrian team on course. Sends him straight down the hill. Now the course swings a little more, tightens up where that hairpin is, but Grocher manages all of those challenges really well. Green light stays on, but it's a 0 in there, so this is absolutely neck and neck with Brozan. Too close for me to call. Tommy will be fighting all the way to the line, as always though. Look, down he goes, punches for the line. Wow, 100th of a second. As close as it gets in Alpine ski racing. Tommy Grocher just sneaks into the lead ahead of the French team by 100th of a second. Boy, we knew the sharp end of this men's division was going to be pretty tight, but it's, as I say, as tight as it gets here. France aren't done yet, though. Here's Jules Siegers. See what he can do. Hundredths of a second, his advantage over Grocher from the first run. 1400s, excuse me. Athletic getting tested to the max here. Now, he's lost a tiny bit of the advantage he carries, but the green light stays on for Siegers. And certainly to my eye, he's using the slope well. He's got nice rhythmical moves, lets the skis run for the line now, and just nicks in ahead of Grocher by 300ths. So the top three men, they're separated by only 400ths of a second. Really is as tight as it ever gets. As I say, good use of the rhythm of the course, not worrying too much about getting really tight and hard on all of the gates, just keeping the skis moving smoothly from side to side. A good tactic there, pays dividends for Jules Siegers. So Adam Fall's little lanyard that he has between the tips of his skis. And Adam ready to push himself into the first couple of gates. Recovery move there in the second turn, just a little hop between the turns. Now, as we saw with Siegers before, Adam's tactic here is to really try to keep things smooth, keep good flow from side to side. So he doesn't have the ability to work with his legs really totally independently. So as an LW1 skier, his factor levels that out, but he's got to deliver the goods and keep those feet moving from side to side. Let them run straight now, goes for the line. He's just outside. Just misses it.
Really, really close in the front there, so.
Yeah, so our on-site announcer says it's real close. Only 1700s, only 0.26 actually to fifth place. So this competition is, yeah, as hot as it gets. Next up, Aron Lundström for the Swedish team. Third place after the first run, so we're really getting into the battle for top spot now. Lundström, no help at all from his factor, so he has to give it everything he's got. Wow, risky stuff by Lundström. This is it. He has to lay it all on the line here, cutting a very direct route through these lower gates. Turns on to the final pitch. through the last hairpin, goes for the line, almost tips over, but now we see the competition opening up. It's a big gap he's set between himself and Segers in second place, so Lindstrom goes into the lead with an extremely risky but dynamic line. Stayed on top of things. Brought his best to the second run, that's for sure. It's been his approach all day long, actually. He's moved it up a gear from yesterday, I would say. Don't think he'll mind me saying that at all. Now, back at the top of the hill, Robin Kusch prepares himself. Second place after the first run now, so we're really in the battle for the top spots. Lindstrom leads. Oh, Kusch in trouble here. And yeah, on his less strong side, he's stumbling there a little bit, unable to get the purchase from the ski. He's through the worst of it now and has found a better rhythm on the lower part and carrying really good speed. Keeps that green light on, 1700s. Lost just a little over a 10. But yeah, keep the rhythm, don't lose too much contact with the snow, trying to keep the skis arcing from foot to foot, and now point them straight for the line. Oh, he's just outside, drops in behind Lindstrom. Robin Kusch can only manage second position for now. Yeah, it was well offline there, actually, down out in the soft snow, so quite costly errors, I guess. Made some great recoveries though, and certainly no lack of fight. Couldn't go for the line in these slow-mos. A quick look up higher up. This is where he got popped off the snow and had to stomp the skis down, try to put in some kind of speed check there to try to get the balance back. Makes the pole plant just at the right time, but he has lost the line. He's dropped a little bit lower than he would ideally have liked to have been. So ultimately, that's where some of the time was lost. There's our leader for the tour. It's the slalom tour so far, Arthur Bauchet. He's not really put a foot wrong all season. Let's see if he's going to feel any pressure here. Looks pretty focused in the start on his own course now. Did a great job in both runs yesterday. Took the win here in the first of these 3 slalom competitions. And right now, looks to try to repeat his form from yesterday, or get a repeat of the form he delivered. 3.5 seconds up on everybody else. Can afford to put in that little check because he ran very, very wide. This is a flyer of a run by Bauchet. Right to the wire as well, really giving it absolutely everything. Punches over the line, left it all on the hill, and once again that big smile confirms Arthur Bauchet as your slalom winner for today in the men's standing category here in Feldberg. Cracking couple of runs by the young Frenchman. Eased himself into the rhythm of the course up on the top section, but then really got stuck into really enjoying this skiing, I'm sure, you know, tackling these tricky conditions. Okay, it's not icy as we're used to in the Alpine World Cup Tour, but these soft snow conditions have their own sets of challenges. Bauchet soaked it all up though, punches across the line and takes the second win in as many days. Well, there's your standings. Bauchet from Lindstrom getting in second place. Robin Kusch dropping down to third there here as we conclude the second run in this second of 3 slaloms in Feldberg. Segers, Grocher, Broisin making up the top 6 there. So very much a party of the nations. But the French, probably the strongest there. They've got 4 guys in the top 10. So very strong French team. Allez les Bleus. And yeah, as I say, he's got a pretty broad grin, and we're getting used to seeing that almost each and every time he goes out in the competition hill. goes. Great slow-mo pictures, I have to say. This slow-mo camera we've got right in the middle of the course, picking up the facial expression, so you can really see, you can read the determination and commitment on the faces of these athletes as they're howling their way down through these tricky ruts. Let's see what he's got
Arthur,
to say.
that's another win, but in very difficult conditions here. What was the most difficult for you? The snow, the visibility, the steepness?
I think all together it was the hardest, but yeah, I think I did a really good run, first run, so I know I had the possibility to do the same in second run. It was more difficult with the snow and all the snow condition, but it was great, and even if it's rainy, it's a great day, so yeah, I'm happy with this victory.
Arthur, encore une victoire dans des conditions très difficiles. Qu'est-ce qui était le plus difficile? La neige, la visibilité?
Ah ouais, c'était très chaud, la neige, tout ensemble en fait, ça fait des conditions un peu horribles, mais c'est vrai que ouais, il y avait pas mal de trous et du coup j'ai du mal à amortir avec mes jambes, donc ça vient taper un peu dans le fond et ça me met vite en difficulté, donc voilà. Le mot d'ordre c'était d'aller jusqu'en bas, le couteau entre les dents, et c'est ce qui s'est passé, donc très bien, très content avec ces deux runs.
Bravo, merci.
I love that. He just used an expression I haven't heard for a long time, but a great friend of ours in the broadcasting and Alpine Skiing world, Luc Alphonse, used to say, they have a French, it's an expression from the French Foreign Legion, un couteau dans les dents, a knife between your teeth. young Arthur Bauchet just said, that's basically saying, I'm just going to put my head down and go for it, despite the terrible conditions, despite the rain and the very difficult snow. A great win there for France in the shape of Arthur Bauchet. Now, next up, and the final division on day 2 here in Feldberg is the men's sitting athletes. Fitting getting us underway is Leon Gensert, one of the German team skiers. Oh, he's down though, just within a few gates. He's back up though, gets his rig back underneath him and gets on with the job of trying to tackle these softening and roughening turns. This is going to be one of the sections that's going to be tough for the sit skiers. Yeah, just where it goes blue-red after the hairpin. There's a bit of a rut there, and they're going to get popped into the air, as we saw happening to Leon. He's battling on. Here he goes onto these tricky series of turns here. The rhythm changes, and that rhythm change into the hairpin catches him out again. Second sort of touchdown for him. A slightly frustrating run, I think, come the end of the proceedings for Gensert, but he's down and over the line, so at least he's on the result sheet. Look back at the slow-mo. You can see these big piles of snow that are just off the ideal race line, and really, if you get stuck in that stuff, ski just stops working. It stops because of the weight of the snow, but the heaviness and the lack of cohesion in the snow means you can't get any purchase. So important for the sit skiers to be able to get the ski bent up, to get a reaction from the ski and from the suspension of the rig as well. So it's a little bit painful watching that, but Leo Gensert showing us how it can go wrong, how quickly it can go wrong for the sit skiers. Really, they're on a knife edge the whole time. Now, Australia up next. Josh Hanlon pushes onto the course. You see how quickly he gets around that first blue gate. That's a good approach, because if you don't have the rhythm right at the top of this steep section, you're going to be battling against the hill all the way down here. Look at it as it falls away in front of them. It's a tough hill, this in Feldberg, even although Feldberg's quite a modest little resort here in some fairly small hills in the southern edges of the Black Forest. This particular race hill has got its own challenges, and it's a fitting competition venue for the World Cup Tour, that's for sure. Cracking turns here from Hanlon, really getting the rig working, as I've been saying, getting the suspension loaded, bouncing from turn to turn, and no surprise there. And he's quite right. Looks delighted with that, and quite rightly so, I would say. That was a great ski from Hanlon to put him into the lead. Victor Pierrel of the French team now. Good work on the top. Pretty direct line as well. So Hanlon's time could be under threat. We'll get a check just in a moment. Once we get out of these bumps, you can hear the effort that he's putting into trying to stay on top of the rig. Green light comes on, 1.47 to the good. Pierrel, nice rhythm here on these lower turns as well. Oh, just as I say that, he lays it on its side, but picks it up really quickly. Good recovery. Time will be lost. It's just a question of how much. Here's the answer. Oh, it's too much is the answer. That's too bad. Just more or less within sight of the finish line. Lays it on its side. Chucks away his lead. So Hanlon stays our leader for the moment in this men's sitting division. Taro Tsukahara now for Japan on course. Doesn't look so comfortable up on the top section. Previous couple of guys have got stuck into the rhythm of the course and really got their work rate up. But Tsukahara just struggling a bit with the ruts, running wide here as well. Here comes the checkpoint. And his green light advantage, which was just a little over 1.5 seconds, and now turns to a red. It's only 200, so let's see what he can do about it. These are better turns from our Japanese skier on the lower half of the course. Getting more swing in the ski. Straightens it up for the line. Has he done enough? No. Just not able to generate enough momentum across those flatter turns. So Josh Hanlon for Australia stays our leader. Christophe Damas now for the Swiss team. An interesting technique the skiers using their outriggers to clear the gates. It's something that Takeshi Suzuki, one of the Japanese skiers who we should see actually started doing. And he doesn't. Suzuki doesn't do it anymore, but some of the other guys have picked it up. And I think in rhythmical courses where it's even turns left and right is probably a useful tactic. But when it's such a changeable rhythm or so many rhythm changes like we've got here, I think there's probably too much going on to actually make it worthwhile. But it's all very well all that technical analysis. But right now, Tsukahara, unfortunately, just at the final hairpin, ends up out in the big pile of soft snow at the side, and his race, unfortunately for him, is over. It's too bad. Just couldn't get lined up for the hairpin. Ends up reversing out of the course. He's okay though. He's in the finish area safely, but unfortunately, he's our first does not finish for the men's sit skiers. Dino Sokolovic now for Croatia on course. A real experienced competitor, so let's see how he tackles this top section. Our leader Hanlon really got stuck into it, as I've been saying. By that I mean he was, really committed right from the get-go. Sokolovic looking a little more measured. He's, as I say, a really experienced competitor. He's been around for a long time and really knows how to ride the various types of courses and different kinds of terrain. So it's not always about just giving it maximum energy. Sokolovic, surely he's going to go into the 3.73. Now tables are turned and Hanlon has to vacate the leaders enclosure, and Croatia for the moment in charge of this competition. A couple of quick repairs to the course. Snow really is soft, so the gates, the hinge gates, some of them tend to pop out after they've been flattered a few times. And yeah, there's the other challenge that everybody's facing, the water on the goggles. It does disturb the vision very often, especially for the sit skiers, because they're clearing the gate usually right across the center line of their upper body. The water that's actually on the slalom poles, the gates themselves, splashes onto the lens. So you know, there's a lot going on there that it's quite hard to see when we're watching the guys and girls going full speed. But I can assure you, even though the snow's soft, this is not an easy day out on the race hill. Magnus Balchen here for the Norwegian team just has to wait a moment for that repair and a few extra course slippers to go down ahead of him. It's going to help him ever so slightly if they can move some of the piles of soft snow that are kind of just on the outside of the race line. Here he goes. On course and making a good job, I would say, of the top part. Yeah, nice work coming through these, the first of the tricky combination. Oh, just as I say that once again, first of the commentator strikes and another does not finish now. That's the second of our skiers who are out. I'm seeing Pascal Christen has a DSQ, a disqualification against his name. So he must have missed a gate that we didn't quite spot. So next up is going to be Takeshi Suzuki of the Japanese team. Let's have a quick look. Oh no, that's him exiting the course already. We didn't really see where the mistake was made. He was getting into the rhythm of the course, but the ski popping off the snow just a little bit too much for him to be able to control. Here's Suzuki. Sokolovic, one of the very, very experienced skiers here. So we're on course. We're into the final 5 competitors. Sokolovic leads, remember, for Croatia. Suzuki really smooth skiing through this midsection. He had the best part of a second and he's gained over half a second on Sokolovic now on the top half of the second run. So really laying down a challenge, not just to Sokolovic but to the skiers who wait behind him, who have a little bit of an advantage over him, but just a bit of trouble there on that final hairpin. Knock a couple of tenths off, but it's enough for him to take the lead. Yeah, he has to watch and wait now. I think he realizes perhaps that that error at the bottom may prove costly. We'll have to wait and see. Lubraz Dagan for the French team will be up next. Amazing recovery this, you know, like just so little contact with the snow, but just enough for him to get some grip from the ski, stand the rig up, then drop it in and just make the next turn. Last little cross block of the final gate, and yeah, nice to see that smile in the finish area from Takeshi Suzuki, our new leader here in Feldberg. There's Braz Dagan. Bounced a little wide after the first hairpin. But still safely on course. Trying to ride his way out of trouble here. Goes a little wide as the course starts to swing across to the right. Not a bad tactic, but it's a little bit costly time-wise. So right now, Takeshi Suzuki looks comfortable in the finish area, I think, but these lower turns are probably our Frenchman's best on the course so far. So this is too close for me to call. Let the clock do the judgment. 2800s, but it's a green light for Lou Brazdagant, and we have another change in the leaderboard. France now at the top of the table. Really measured run, made certain of that top section, and then saved his best for the lower turns. Just a little bit conservative on the top, gave the course the respect it deserves, and then took the risks lower down. Good tactical play by Lubraz Dagan puts him into the lead. Yeah, he can afford to look pleased with himself. That was a smart run. Really good skiing. Now, Jesper Petersen for Norway next up. Expect some fireworks here. There's that tour leader bit because he's got the greatest number of World Cup points, but his form in slalom, certainly since we've been in Germany, just hasn't been quite at the level that it was early on in the season when we had our early slalom competitions in team. But I think he's got himself back in the groove. This is a pretty spectacular run. Green light, surely. And a big one, 2.95 the advantage now. Pedersen finding form here. And yeah, looks to be enjoying this one, I would say. Bringing it right on the limit every single turn, just on the max. Here come the last couple. Green light once again. And 3.97 the gap. That's a massive advantage. And yeah, I think he can afford to pat himself on the back for that run. But more like the thing. So 2 more skiers remain at the top. René de Silvestro of Italy will be next, and then Jeroen Kampschreur from the Netherlands. Fastest skier from this morning's first run. But look at these turns from Jesper Petersen. Leaping off the snow. Watch this transition here as he goes from edge to edge. Drift there just because he got a little bit late, but that popping the ski in the air on the previous turn, that's spectacular stuff. Now, Italy up next. Very focused looking René de Silvestro, looking for his first ever World Cup slalom win. Oh, just makes it around that red gate in the nick of time. I thought he was done for there, but I think just a mark of the commitment and risk-taking that he's prepared to bring to this second run. That's a dynamic series of turns. Gets the rigger left behind just a little. Almost lost the right outrigger, and it caused him trouble a couple of gates further down. He's got the green light, but he knew he had to push, but he pushes just a little too hard, finding himself in uncharted territory. You know, he could maybe thinking this could be his day, could have been his first win coming up, but at the end of the day, it's a does not finish that will be marked against his name on the results list. Too risky a line there, and just right by the split time, De Silvestro in all sorts of trouble. And then a little lower down after the right outrigger got caught in one of the gates, a couple above where he is right now. Finds himself losing balance completely and the ski breaking away from underneath him, and he's down and out of the competition just when he could have secured himself a podium or possibly a win. That's a shame for him, but it's a tough old sport out there, that's for sure. Part of the learning curve. Probably doesn't want to hear that from me right at this moment, but let's turn our attention to the top of the slope as we come to the final competitor in today's slalom competition. Kampschreur, just typical attack from him, going so direct on these upper turns on the steep section. Really don't know how he manages to stay on top of the rig. Beautiful turns coming off the pitch and carrying a lot of speed now. He has to manage these bumps as he crosses this next roller, sets up nicely, saw almost like a little check, and now he's really on top of the ski as he goes from edge to edge. And well, this is going to be close. He's got just over half a second at the split. Is it enough to overturn Pedersen's advantage? Yes, it is. Kampschreur makes it 2 in a row. Yesterday's win backed up by today's victory. And yeah, that was another athlete doing a very well measured run. He seemed to have a great tactic. Send it straight at the top, bring the speed from the steep section through the middle part, try to ride those ruts and bumps as best you can, and yeah, ultimately that will paid off really well for him. incredible skills. You know, he's actually laid the rig on its side there, drifted the ski, but still managed to get the edge to engage somehow or other with the snow. That soft, mushy snow doesn't afford much purchase at all, but somehow or other, Kampschreur manages to get the ski back under him and then sends it straight across the line to take another victory here in our final slalom of the day, final slalom run of the day. So confirmation on your screens: Kampschreur from Pedersen, from Brasdagand, and spare a thought for poor René de Silvestro down there at the bottom of the page, just when things were looking like he was heading for a podium. The Italian crashing out. He is on top form though, so he'll be back tomorrow to try to do it all again. Remember, it's day 3 of 3 here in Feldberg tomorrow. Same course, same competition format, and I'm sure we'll be saying to these guys, but it'll just be which order, who's going to be the leader tomorrow. Confirmation: Kampschreur, Pedersen, and Lou Brasdagand, your top 3 in the men's sit ski competition here in Feldberg. The winner's replay. There's that incredible move, just managing to hang on to the edge on and no more on the snow. Really skillful stuff, that's for sure. But look at it, you can sort of read the commitment.
So Geraint,
Let's
that's
hear
the
what he's got
second
to say.
win on this slope. How important is it to secure those wins just before the World Championships?
Honestly, it's good for the mindset, of course. It's a different slope than the World Championship, so it's not going to have a direct effect on it, but I'm sure my mind will be in a good rhythm. So I'm really happy with the win. I'm sorry for René, of course, for going out, but it's how it goes. It's a hard slope, and yeah, I'm just happy with the second win here. It's awesome.
You can repeat in Dutch.
Ja, nee, ik ben natuurlijk super blij met hoe het is gegaan. Jammer dat René eruit is, maar dus die tweede run heb ik een beetje gecontroleerd. Naar het wereldkampioenschap is het natuurlijk ook top. Gewoon twee wins in de rugzak en nou ja, op naar de volgende. Thanks.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Yeah, he got the wins in the backpack. I like that. That's a new one on me. Oh, well, what a great couple of days competition we've had so far. Join me, John Clark, once again here on FIS TV tomorrow morning. 10 o'clock local time is our scheduled start. And if you download your FIS app on your mobile devices, you'll be able to keep right up to date with the live action. Any changes in the program, and we can you'll be able to see them on there on the live timing page. So thanks again from me and from all of us here in Feldberg for your company on FIS TV, and look forward to doing it all once again, same time tomorrow. Bye for now.